Hello there. Hold on. Hi guys. Um, so welcome to Czechia. Um, this was supposed to be the V3 review. I don't know how to sit it down here. I'll just knee. Um, this is supposed to be the V3 review. So welcome. If you're watching this, it'll probably come out during October, which is unfortunate because the plan was for me to basically watch it before I came here. Stay safe. Um, and then I would record the review here. Didn't have time, summer school stuff, Corona, me here, stuff happened, so that's unfortunate. I'll just record the intro. Um, I'll say how the V3 is so good, um, and um, and I'll do the Henshin Pose like I did in the part two that you will never see. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this review. The rest of the review will be back in England, um, but there will be hopefully a montage of some pictures that I took in Czechia, just so that you get the gist of what it looks like to be a village boy in Czechia until you realize that a village is not the only thing that exists in the world. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this review. This is too long now, so stay safe, and I'll see you guys later. If that worked, then my Sony Vegas skills have improved. Okay, welcome back to England, the worst place in hell. Let's review V3. Um, Hold on. Okay, I think that's a bit better because the thing, V3. So I don't have I'm not gonna use a tricycle because I don't want to break it again. So I have something else actually in my room. It's called a treadmill. So it's gonna pretend now I'm riding the hurricane on the treadmill. But that's not it, that's not it. I also have this in my room, and this is not a joke. I literally have this in my room ever since like fucking whatever. So yeah. Hurricane. Akai, akai, akai kamen no V3. Double typhoon, inachi no belt. Hi. There's a couple of things to say before we start. I already delayed this by 2 minutes. I have sparkling water. There's a sad night. There's no particular reason. It's just I felt like it was nice to record at night. I have a lamp, so there you go. I have a man bun. Don't mind it. It's bad, I know. Let's just ignore it. And thirdly, so you know how started in Czechia, so I'll I'll try as much as I can to post, you know, background music that old Czech YouTubers used in their videos, just to bring some nostalgia. Hopefully, I won't get copyright for this, but let's just, my channel is so irrelevant that it probably won't happen, but I just want to make sure that it doesn't happen in the first place. And that's it. I also have some notes. I don't have a script. I don't like scripts. When I did the original review, that was a word by word, but that was because I already draft the reviews for others to, look at and tell me off. So this is really just notes. It's every single video after the original review is based off notes. So cool. Episode 1. Rider number 3. His name is V3. So we start off with a worker at night, fitting. We start with some worker and he dies off near a canal because he sees some very suspicious stuff. Now, Kazami Shiro, our main character, finds this fella literally die right in front of him. Nice. Now, as a result, he finds that, he finds out about the suspicious stuff. So when he gets home, he thinks about these kind of things. And his sister Yukiko startles him, and his coffee drops. But it wasn't really coffee because that coffee explodes. What? It gets set on fire. It's really weird. So the next day, he goes to Jonan University, and we see Takeshi Hongo. Yee! Uh, I'm gonna make a clip right now, just so that we're clear for later. There's gonna be a clip of every time that I'm hyped for Hongo, Hayato, any cool stuff coming back. Okay.
Woo! Yo! Yeah! Woo! Yeah!
And that's it. Let's carry on. So Hongo tells him that it's some Tibetan, that place, poison called Lugar. Now that poison doesn't exist, by the way, because if you search the Spanish translation for Lugar, it's place. Thanks, Google Translate. Lugar is a verb, and if I'm very sure, I don't. Anyway, that's besides the point. The poison doesn't exist. I mean, how would it be poison when it literally gets set on fire? Anyway, so Hongo and Hayato and Tachibana think that something suspicious is going on, and that peace might not be in this world again because things are very suspicious, and Shiro, our main character, is being targeted. Now we see a black KKK. I mean, we thought we got rid of them first time, and then no. Yeah, thanks, Toei. We see a black KKK march, and Hongo sees it, and they hold a cross and a circle thing, with the flower pot, what we call it, and it says the grave of Takeshi Hongo. So I don't know how to feel about that. And so before that, Shiro gets blown away. He gets blown off. F in the chat. It's just literally a F in the chat, and we call an ambulance. That ambulance, nah, fuck that. It's actually the bad people. They're trying to kill him off. Tachibana helps him out as well as Shiro. Hayato and Hongo notice that, so they try to get to that ambulance, but they manage in time. And yeah, it's a mess, right? So by that point, Hongo is like really thinking that some organization might be, trying to remove peace again. So Shiro finds a base. Well, it's not it's Shiro, it's Junko, our main heroine. And yeah, she finds it, and Shiro finds her getting chased, but she faints. Like she's being chased off. Shiro finds her. They fuck off basically, and she faints. Cool. That's great romance going on, guys. By that point, we get to the most heartbreaking part. So now I've just been me being right now about this episode, but this is the first two episodes are the episodes that are really just heartbreaking and are really deep. Like bloody hell, these episodes are really heartbreaking. So basically, what happens is Junko goes into the Kazami house, Shiro's house, where they think that Junko is basically Shiro's boyfriend, Shiro's girlfriend. We don't judge. But anyway, the worst thing happens. Destron, which we find out, is a new organization, and they kill Shiro's family. The entirety. They kill his parents and his sister Yukiko. Hongo and Hayato come into the rescue, but just they come late, and they just die. It's again, I don't know how to feel about it. It's just so heartbreaking, and the worst thing, what happens after, is that Shiro, because of that, just wants to sacrifice his humanity. He wants to not be human. He wants to sacrifice to seek vengeance for his family and I guess everyone else. And it's just really interesting to see that if that happened to me, I wouldn't want to sacrifice humanity. I just don't know what I would do. It's just a weird thing to think about. So, the next day, Hongo and Hayato try to infiltrate a base. And obviously, the leader of Shocker slash Girl Shocker is now the new leader of Deathstone. Thanks, dude. Fucking hell. He basically sets up some gas, but then Shiro comes back. He saves them, but the gas infected him, and he was on the brink of dying. He was literally gonna die any moment. So Hongo and Hayato turned him into a cyborg. They didn't want to. When he told them initially that he wanted to be a cyborg, they said no because they don't want that burden to affect anyone else anymore. But because Shiro is such a caring human being, and there's nothing left of him. He just wants vengeance. They turn him into Kamen Rider V3, combining the powers of Kamen Rider 1 and 2, Ichigou and Nigo. Yeah. The episode ends on Kamen Rider V3 debuting, and in the next episode, we find Kamiyama Toma, Kamen Rider Saber. That's really cool. I didn't expect that to happen. You tell me what you guys think about that. Oh yeah, so basically they do a Unite Vento. They do the most random shit that I've ever seen in my life. Like I've never seen this in the original. How? I guess they did some next level stuff. They did some next level training. They unleash their full energy basically, turn into Skyrider. They start flying with the monster and create a nuclear explosion. Like they didn't have one already. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, did I say that the monster looks like Blastoise? It's cool. But yeah, and the old Rider base is now gone because the whole explosion it just destroyed it. So in episode 3, we'll find out that we have a new base. But before I do that, Hongo and Hayato basically sacrifice their life, saying to Shiro that they'll be back. But the next episode, we just assume that they're dead. It's dumb. And yeah, they basically said to Shiro that they'll always be there for him and that he has a lot to learn in a sense, which he does. And that's episodes 1 and 2. Again, it's just that 5 minutes in the first episode that just makes you go, wow, this man really lost everything. This man lost everything in a matter of seconds. Like that's so messed up, and we don't realize it because we're talking about something imaginary. We're talking about something that would probably never happen theoretically, but it could. But we can assume that to be anything else. Like I don't know, if something bad happens in the world, think about the wars that happened throughout life. Okay, there's a lot of people that have lost so many things in a matter of seconds. They had everything, a family, a life, a job, but they lose it in a matter of seconds. Their beloved ones. It's just so heartbreaking. And I don't have that. I don't have that feeling because I never truly lost anyone beloved to me. I have my family downstairs wanting to sleep probably. It's just, I don't know, it's just so weird to think about. So please let me know what you guys think. It's a very interesting thing to think, talk about how you can really lose your beloved ones so easily and so abruptly as well. Like you won't even, it's really unexpected. Okay, Kazami didn't expect to be a cyborg. He didn't expect Destron to come about. You know. So that's episodes 1 and 2. I'm gonna skip about. I'll talk about some noticeable episodes from my notes. So let's talk about the V3 suit. So it's a 2-piece. I have no idea if the original suits Ichigo and Nigo's suits are two-piece. They look like tracksuits. Like I just noticed that now. It's just I like them because of that. It's just so dumb now. I realize it now that they look like tracksuits, like some Adidas tracksuits. But anyway, V3 suit is really cool. I like the spiky thing, and I don't know. I just like that he's green, and I like that he's just different. You know, obviously the fact that he's combining the powers of one and two. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. I just find it a bit off-putting with the two-piece. X will have the same. X literally has the same thing, but I could care less at the end of the day. Like that's just the way they made the suits before. Let's talk about the Destron suits as well. They're definitely improvement from the Shocker suits. Definitely like them. Um, as I said, I don't like the girl Shocker suits. They look like socks. They look like socks that I wore when I was 7 years old. Just no, just no. Let's talk about the 26 skills. So, is it 26? I have no idea. Anyway, when Shiro was told to fuck off by Hongou and Hayato, there's been a lot of mysteries about V3. And V3 basically finds out that he can do a reverse typhoon, which basically unleashes a lot of incredible power. And then he has a powerful chest, so like he's really bulletproof, like Sauda. And like there's like an episode where there's some rolling thing comes about, like Sonic literally comes in, and he tries to roll to V3, but then he uses his chest to bounce it back and then defeat it. Cool. Let's carry on. So yeah, again, it's really cool how Shiro learns about these skills. It's really cool. Like it makes the story feel like it flows nicely together, unlike the original where you can really watch any episode you want and not really have any repercussions, if you know what I mean. I'll talk about it near the end though. That's an interesting thing that I want to talk about actually between the two shows. But anyway, again, it's nice how it flows because you learn as you go with Shiro about his new skills because we don't know these skills unless you watch the show. Shigeru comes to the squad, so this is Junko's little brother. And he just basically, yeah, he's just part of the main squad. He's just a kid, and he's part of the Rider squad, which is part of noticeable episodes. Let's just talk about them quickly now. The Rider squad are really cool in this show. They're way more useful than they were in the original, but that's just mainly because we didn't get enough of them. They debuted about episode 70 something properly, but in this show, they're, you know, we see them throughout the whole show, right? And they're all across Japan. And it's not the stupid bird thing. They have the communicators they have the necklace, and they literally communicate through it from, you know, from one area of Japan to another, so that they can send a message to Tokyo, the main base. So cool. It's, and I also like the episode where, you know, where they like unleashed like a lot of different gadgets as well. I think it's episode 9. I'll get that in the noticeable episode. It's so cool again. But I'll talk about that in a minute. So, talk about the two parts. Okay, so the original didn't really have that, the two-parter thing. Again, I said that you can watch an episode and it'll be a one-off, right? V3 does have a lot of two-parters, but it's not something like, I don't want to say something negative about a show that I'm not gonna watch until like later, but something like Forze or maybe Oz, for example. They had a lot of two-parters, right? Now, you could technically watch the second episode and have no repercussion by not watching the first one. That's different in V3 because I feel like if you didn't watch the first episode, you wouldn't really understand what's happening in the second episode. You'll have an idea, but they don't really recap it. Also, I don't know what I'm doing. But they don't really recap it. So I think because of that, I don't mind the two-parters because it flows nicely with the story. That is given. Like there's more story in V3 than in the original. Would you guess it? In episode 3, Shiro gets put into a coffin and burnt. Jesus. Episode 7, there was a big age difference between that guy because they said that they're brother and sister. That was a big age difference, not gonna lie. But yeah, anyway. Oh yeah, and then Shiro gets hit by Miley Cyrus. What? Wrecking Ball? Fam. Oh yeah, episode 10. So when I was talking about Rider Scouts, they showed the gadgets and everything. Jesus, that was so cool. I wish they did it more in the show though, to be honest. Oh yes, episode 11 and 12. Here's a clip.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Basically, some guy wants to expose Shiro for being V3, and then in the next episode, he gets turned, like in the previous episode, he gets turned into a cyborg, and then in the episode after that, he basically makes Junko be his wife, but that doesn't go to plan. But it's just so dumb. Oh yeah, episode 13, we get Harry Potter. You know, the second episode. Now we get into episode 14. So in episode 13, we get hinted that a commander would come with a big G. So in episode 14, we get the introduction to Dr. G. I'm just going to call him Dr. G. I'm not going to say why. Anyway, in episode 14, Secret Memento of the Double Riders. Shiro is being informed about a secret in regard to V3 being revealed, received by George Yakamoto. Definitely not related to Joji. Oh, was I saying something? Oh, I apologize. So, anyway, Dr. Ge overhears that with some transmissions, and they try to infiltrate Yakamoto. That doesn't go to plan. Shiro saves them, and George basically says that, yeah, there's basically some secrets, go there. And yeah, they get there, but the first episode ends, gets saved by fake doc. What am I writing in these notes? The first episode ends with a beating up V3 because he gets some stupid spray on himself, and the introduction to Dr. Gay properly. And oh yeah, let's also talk about the fact that whenever he says Rider, he says Kamen Rider. Just a quick thing that I wanted to say, Kamen Rider. But yeah, he says that, and then in the second episode, Shiro gets injured, but he's saved by some girl that lives near there. They get into the base, and the monster of the week tries to find out about the situation, gets unlucky. But yeah, he gets saved by a fake Dr. D. So you remember from, oh yeah, you didn't watch the part 2. Anyway, he gets saved by some guy, and he was saved by Ichigou and Nigo from Destron, and he's been keeping the secret of V3. Hongou and Hayato basically told him, if you ever hear from a guy called Kazami Shiro, then give him it. But he didn't have the courage because he's scared about his daughter's life. He doesn't want to, you know, make her go into danger and all this stuff, right? So that's when Shiro tells him to get some courage. Don't you want your daughter to live a normal life? Do you want her to suffer like this? He gets the courage, and he gets the weaknesses. In that episode, we don't really find out except for one, which is the fact that when he uses a reverse typhoon, he can't henshin for 3 hours. So, quick fact. There you go. And yeah, that's really the end of the episode. I mean, he defeats the monster, and he finds out about the secrets. That's really it. Episode 23. That's literally what I wrote. Thirsty ass fucker drinks women's blood only, and was nearly gonna drink his sister's. Bro, hey yo, that girl is too pretty to be, you know, having her blood drunk, whatever. Too pretty. Now we move on to the movie. I'm really speed throughing this. It's 20 minutes. I guess because I'm not really talking a lot. Anyway, the movie, Kamen Rider V3 versus Destron Mutants, or should I say Deftron Freaks? Fucking hell, what is that name? So a quick thing, I'm gonna say this at the end again. I was watching the the everything V3 related from Generation Kikaida, which is the people that officially subbed the show. This movie, I didn't watch it from Generation Kikaida. I watched it from their name is here. Nice people. I haven't met them, but I'm sure they're nice people. You know, the hard work. But yeah, the movie's a bit Bruno Memento. I mean, the subs are fine. The subs are fine. But anyway, so we start off with in a boat, and some atom physicist Tetsuo Okita discovers Satanium, which does really weird stuff when someone touches it. Like this happens like later, but literally, my man touches the Satanium, and he literally has bubbles floating around. And, like bubbles literally come out of him, and like he just turns into a bubble, and like he turns to a skeleton. Mad, mad, mad. Obviously, Destron wants to find the whereabouts of the Satanium. Obviously, my man's not going to do that because he knows that it's dangerous. Then Shiro comes in as a baller. Hey yo, this is literally what happens, bro. They're in the base. Tachibana, he reads the newspaper saying that the physicist has died, unfortunately, and my man just comes in as a baller. He's just like, hey yo, and they find out about the situation. Kazami Shiro, Jesus, Kazami Shiro invades the base, and then finds out that the sister holds the base, holds the map of the Satanium. So they go there. What is it again? She works in a hotel. That's all I've written. Thanks me. So Okita dies, unfortunately. Oh yeah, and we get the debut for Crashing Buffalo Raider. You thought it debuted in 01. It debuted in Showa. Another reason why Showa is better than Heisei. Wait, that was a Reiwa show. Moving on. So, oh yeah, so there's one scene. They get to the hotel and the dancers are like doing their thingamajig. No idea what happened with the audio, but the lovely ladies were singing their song, and when they got to the last line, there was you could still hear the note, but the mouths were shut. Cool. Shiro then comes into the rescue because Destron tries to invade the lady, and yeah, so he does an anti-kick. What the fuck? They save the lady, and she says that the map is actually in Kochi. Koichi? That place. And then when they get there, it's one of the funniest scenes. So Tachibana finds the map, and he's like, hey yo, what's in this map? Some random guy in like some cap and like glasses literally is like, nope, it's just mine. So stupid. And then, oh yeah.
Woo! Yo! Yeah!
Hongou and Hayato come back. And then some previous Destron come back as well. And the Crashing Buffalo shoots the enemies. Which basically what happened is that Ichigo, Nigo and V3 were fighting the monsters. And then the Crashing Buffalo monster and Dr. Gay were on top of a hill. And the Crashing Buffalo Raider was like, I can't shoot them, I'll just kill my comrades. And then Dr. Gay was like, nah, fuck that, do it anyway. He does it. Guess who survives? 1, 2, and V3. And that's the end of the story. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, this movie is alright. In terms of like, I don't know, this movie's kind of forgettable. Is it just me? I think it's because I watched this movie like 2 months ago. I don't know, I'll rate this movie like a 7 out of 10 because it has funny scenes. But it's not rememberable. Like, the second movie, Kamen Rider vs. Ambassador Hell, so far the best movie like ever. I think it's better than AC Generations of like any movie, bro. That movie is so stupid. So good. Anyway, we move on to episode 27 and 28. One of my favorite episodes because
Woo!
we get back the commanders. What commanders? Well, the commanders from the previous show, if you haven't watched it. So we start off the episode. Oh yeah, let me tell you the episode name. Zol, Death, Hell, and Black rise from the grave. Some remaining Shocker cyborgs came back to life, and the child basically lets the command base know about the situation. And Shiro is like, hold it there, don't do anything, don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. Don't
I'm
go
not.
anywhere.
I'm not.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm not. I'm sitting on my
Don't
back.
go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. Are you blind? But no, some dumb dad basically tries to put some rock on the monster. The monster reawakens. I think the dad dies, you know. Yeah, that's I don't know how to feel about that. I really don't know how to feel about that. So then we get the reintroduction of our four commanders, and they're basically being fucking bitches to each other. They're like, oh, I should take command. We should take command over Dr. Gabe because he's been doing a crap job. And basically the big plan is that they'll be placed in different areas of Japan and kill everyone with some killer gas. Can I just say, Ambassador Hell gets told to go to Kyushu. Fam, when Dr. Death got introduced, he was in Kyushu. Let him be in Kyushu. What's wrong, Toei? Are you dumb? Why are you dumb? Why are you dumb? Anyway, that's really the way the first episode ends. I think. No. The episode ends on V3 being surrounded by the commanders. There you go. And in the next episode, he gets trapped. And then the dumb scene happens. I'll tell you that in a minute. But basically, Junko and Tachibana, because they get no message from Shiro, they disguise themselves as people that have the cure for the killer gas. And they basically, take them into Destron to kidnap them. But then, Ambassador Hell being the best commander, obviously, he goes to the prison and he's like, do you know who I am? Bro, I was fighting on the Ichigou-Riderman. Hey, yo, don't mess with me, fam. And he tells the Destron combatants to basically open the door, which basically turns out in Shiro's favor. Because my man literally escapes and they tell off Ambassador Hell. So he then escapes, but then because of the fact that, Junko and Tachibana got themselves into trouble, Shiro has to come back to the base, the Destron base. He destroys it, and all of the commanders die, except for Dr. K, because he's part of the V3 story, obviously. But, fam, the four commanders, they sustained through worse things, in my opinion, and they died in the span of 2 episodes. Why? Like, I literally, I wanted them to stay for longer. It would have been like fun if they did something like, they're in each branch of Japan, and for the next few episodes we fight out each commander and we kill off one by one. I think that would have been cooler in my opinion. Tell me what you guys think. So episodes 29 and 30 are the last episodes of Dr. Gay, because it's been fucking up so much. The last episode is called Dr. Gay, the true form of evil is. So it's kind of similar to the original, the true form of fear or something like that. In this 2-parter, we get introduced to the Destron Hunters, and basically they have some information about Destron, I think, and we get introduced to Sakuma Ken. Literally who? Like, he ends up in a couple more episodes throughout the rest of the show, but then he disappears. He's literally so forgettable. Like, literally who? Like, he's literally like who? Sakuma Ken? I'm not gonna talk about you anymore. Like, you're who? But anyway, in the what do you call it? In the 2-parter, we see that they have some information, and in 2-parter was trying to resolve that, trying to decode that information. And then near the end of the first episode, the dad, he has a daughter. She comes in because the monster of the week, he has a ability to mimic humans. Like he can literally copy the way humans look, kind of like Colonel. But anyway, what happens then is the girl comes in and she's like, "This man isn't my dad." It's kind of like that video. You're not my dad. You're not my dad. But anyway, Dr. Gay gets told off that he's been fucking up too much. He does some ritual stuff, sends some monster, and then gets killed off. Great, like, and this is not the first time that's gonna happen, guys. There's nothing bad. I just find this funny. Like, my man's been fucking up so much, he gets killed off. It's just, okay, bye. It's just. Oh yeah, let's talk about I forgot. Let's talk about Dr. Gay. In terms of his suit. So he has like scorpion design, I think, because of his helmet, and he looks like a knight. He looks like an old knight, not the kind of knight that you would normally see. So when people see knights, right, medieval knights, they think they just have the armor. No, they don't. Some look like this. I'm not even joking. I don't know exactly the big brain research, but I can tell you that for sure. This is what they look like. Okay. Episodes 31 and 35, we'll call the Baron Tusk Saga. It's actually 4 episodes of a commander. We'll get onto that. So, we get introduced to Baron Tusk, or Baron something. I don't know what they call him. Other than that. Anyway, Baron Tusk gets introduced from Africa. Can I just say, the musical atmosphere, so the drums and everything that they do whenever Baron Tusk gets shown in the episodes, so cool. Like, I don't know, it just feels really nice. And also the fact that he wears a suit, it's kind of funny. He reminds me of someone. If I put a picture in here, you'll know why. It's just all I'm gonna say. Then there's an episode, it's episode 33. There's some monster that basically turns every single person into like some animal, like some third animal. They come back again in episodes 33 and 34, which is again so cool. Oh, can I also say in episode 34, leader of Destron is sexist, bro. What the fuck, bro? My man literally just comes out and says, Kamen Rider Ichigou and Nigo are very powerful folks. You think a woman can beat them? Hey yo, why are you being sexist, bro? What was wrong? Hey yo. Carry on. In episode 35, so that's the last episode that Baron Tusk gets, exists. The base gets told about something, but the line gets cut. So when Shiro gets to the place where the note got taught, where the voice got, the thingy, bruh, you know what I'm talking about, the voice note. He finds pictures of figures of parliament, which Baron Tusk wants to brainwash so that they can take over Japan. Now, Shiro dressed up as one of them, and there's this funny scene with Shigeru. My man acts like an old man, bro. I'm going to talk about this in the character section later, but my man talks about it. He literally talks like an old man. It's kind of funny. But anyway, Shiro then manages to turn into the members of parliament. They basically catch him in the action, in the whatever. I don't know. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me today? And he saves everyone and kills Baron Tusk. That's all I had. That's literally it. Literally the 4 episode saga of Baron Tusk. Episode 36 to 40 is the Archbishop Wing saga, which I also call the Odin saga, because my man looks like Odin. Or something like, I don't know. When I first looked at him, I was like Odin. But yeah, so Archbishop Wing arrives from Tibet, so he knows about Lugar. Now I'm thinking about it, he knows about Lugar, Anyway, in that same episode, some weird monk, that's the monster of the week, but some weird monk is in there, but he's doing some weird stuff, I swear to God. Alright, so there's also a nice scene in episode 36 where Shiro and Tachibana talk to each other about, basically Shiro wants to be able to hold his length of flight for a bit longer. So like, not in terms of like my man can fly like Skyrider, in terms of flight when he falls, because he's fighting some bird monster of the week. But Tachibana is really worried about him. There's been a lot of instances about like this, and it's really interesting how Shiro wants to persevere and wants to, you know, want to push himself so hard, but Tachibana is like, no, you can't do that. You have to think about the others, you know. So there's an interesting. What am I saying? Episode 37 is interesting because we get some not development about Shigeru, but we what is it? His cousin. He spent some time with his cousin and his, cousin's like granddad, whatever. Anyway, they're in some like village, and the old person is like, I don't want to go. Even if there's someone roaming about that could cause danger, I don't want to leave. Which is something that I wanted to bring up. So this might be a bit of a stretch, but think about it this way, right? So, when there's like places on the earth where a lot of earthquakes or like a lot of natural disasters happen. So like, I don't want to say say a place, whatever. But imagine if a place has a natural disaster and it causes a lot of trouble for a lot of the people that live there. If the person says that they want to remain there, what would you think about that? Would you think that it's a bad decision, or would you try to understand why they want to live in that place, even though it will be bad for them because the likeliness of them dying because of the natural disasters will be high? And one of the things will be history. They lived there throughout the whole life with their family, etc. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason is that they're just really unable to go. Okay, now there's not really a reason in this episode, but I'm just giving you ideas as to a topic to talk about, because this show has like a lot of interesting things to think about that I wouldn't think about initially, but upon skimming through the show again, I got to appreciate and understand some things about, which is really cool. So yeah, that's that. Episode 38, again, this is really, really nice. This is not really something that like has any like deep meaning, I guess. It's more as in, there's a lot of really big meaning. Not meaning, what am I saying? Okay, episode 38. So episode 38 is the episode that makes me really like Shiro. It's a really light-hearted moment. It's a really nice moment. So there's this kid, and they're on their own because the mom is going to give birth to a brother or sister of this child. That's nice, they're at the grandmother's place, whatever. And the dad gets kidnapped, right? And Shiro tells the kid to be strong because their name is Tsuyoshi, which means strong in Japanese, I think. That is what he says in the episode. And it's a real light-hearted moment. He tells the kid to persevere, to be strong, and to always believe in, his dad, I guess. Like it was just a nice moment for Shiro to, take care of this kid and to tell him to be a strong kid and to persevere through the situation. And then we go to episode 40, so last episode of Archbishop Wing. A man sees a Destron cyborg, gets infected to be a part of Destron, and the brother of him, so he's friends with Shigeru, and he comes into the base and he's like, oh, he doesn't eat rice, and he goes out and eats weird shit. Yeah, that's called being a neat, bro. That's called being a neat. That's called your life just being at its peak. I just triggered a lot of people. Oh yeah, so that exact kid that said that his brother is being weird gets injured like a lot. Something, it's very similar to the episode with Goro, right, where Hayato doubts himself and then Tachibana tells him to persevere and get better. Same thing happens with Shiro. In that episode, Shiro is really downing himself, which is very weird because we don't really see that throughout the whole show. We see a very interesting character development, which I will talk about later. But anyway, that's besides the point. Tachibana tells him to persevere, just like in that episode with Hayato, and it's a really powerful scene again. Like, you're seeing that Tachibana is like telling him to do that and all that. It just felt like a really nice scene. And then Shiro keeps bungee jumping to untie himself. So basically, the Archbishop wing has a bat form, and he grabs, what do you call it? He grabs V3 and then he just drops him. V3 basically made sure that when he gets dropped off, he does a spinning attack. It's literally, and that was pretty cool. I liked it. Like, he comes up with different techniques to basically combat them once, which is really cool. Cool. Let's talk about the final thing. The final 11 episodes? 12 episodes. 41 and 52. Martial Armor Saga. Which actually one of my, it's like, out of all the sagas, is my favorite one. Oh yeah, so in the introduction episode to Martial Armor, what the fuck happened to these slaves? Like, that was weird. Yeah, that was weird. And then we get the introduction to Martial Armor, but we get a tease about it in the episode prior because Archbishop Wing gets told the same thing as Dr. Gay. If you fuck up, you get replaced by him, and we get a tease for Archbishop Wing. We also have an episode where Shiro's like friend, this friend was kind of similar to, what do you call him, Taki, in the original, where they were always like competing with each other, but like they're friends. Same thing, we get turned into a Destron, and it was by choice, which is very interesting. And he, unfortunately, gets killed. So, episode 42. So, basically, what happens is that there's two sisters, and one of the sisters dies, the older one, and the younger one blames Tachibana and Shiro on the death of that sister. But then she finds out that it was Destron. And what I want you to think about is the fact that the episode kind of presents the fact that sometimes things are really impossible to explain. You know? I don't think Destron was known as much. Like, some adults would think that it's just nonsense. It's kind of like, you know, like imagination, right? It's like Dokuja or something like that. And again, it just shows the idea of like, do you have that moment where you just want to explain something, but it's just impossible because it's just impossible to explain. They just won't get it, unfortunately. That's what I want you to think about. Now, episode 43. I'm gonna try and not look at the notes because I think I know the episode off by heart. Friend or foe, the mysterious Riderman. One of my like the last few episodes is like literally peak levels of V3. So we get introduced to Yuki Joji. Before that, Martial Armor basically is thinking that he's gonna get told off, and he's basically worried about his place in Destron. So he basically tells Joji Yuki, our Riderman, to fuck off. He literally gets told to go off Destron, and he's been executed, and his arm unfortunately gets, I don't know, like annihilated, like destroyed. It gets destroyed, but the rest of his crew save him, and he does a transplant, a biogenetic transplant or something like that, with his arm, and that was really risky because of his current situation. One of the crewmates asked for his sister to come because she's a nurse, and Joji then was born as Riderman, also known as, I'll just read this note, Riderman is born, the Demon of Vengeance, which is a very interesting name. And in the next few episodes, the thing that, another idea that we get brought up is the fact that Joji believes at that point that Destron is a good organization. He believes that There's nothing wrong with them, which is really, and it's also the fact that he also says something very fucked up. He says that when he was younger, he was abandoned and he had suicidal thoughts, but the leader of Destron saved him and he raised him after that, and that's why he is where he is now. Because in one of the scenes in later episodes, there's a scene where he actually saves the leader of Destron. Shiro could have attacked him, but no. Joji was like, no, because of the fact that the leader raised him like as a son or something like that. It's really, it brings up the fact about how you don't really know what's right unless you really know. I don't know how to really explain that. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes you do certain things, but you're kind of oblivious about the true thing that is happening, kind of not ignorant, you're oblivious because you don't really realize that, and it's not your fault. Joji realizes that not just Martial Armor is a bad person. Everyone in Destron is a bad person. They're trying to create bad things. They're trying to take over the world, and the leader of Destron is not human. Look, Joji literally says that he signed on the devil. It's really interesting to think about. So before I get to the last two episodes, episode 50 is really interesting. I'll just talk about the brief scene that happens. So there's a kid that plays with a harmonica, and Shiro comes in and says, "Oh, I like to play the harmonica as well." So he plays a song, but he gets reminded by Yukiko, his young sister. And there's, in the scene, we see how he's just crying. He as much as we see him throughout the show being so confident now from where he started, but he's still broken inside. It's just really, I don't know, it was just so sad to see that. The last episode 51. So Destron make this Pluton rocket, which is planned to be set off to destroy Tokyo. It's like a really powerful rocket. Now Shiro and Joji get set into a trap. So Joji is like doing some outside stuff, but then gets into a fight, and then Shiro, I don't know exactly what happens, but anyway, they manage somehow, and then the leader of Destron is coming to Japan, which is cool, and Joji realizes that again the leader isn't human and that he swore his allegiance to the devil. So as I said before, Joji then, as a result, sacrifices himself because the rocket, they couldn't stop it in time. So what Joji does is he gets inside the rocket, unable to stop it, and whatever, he blows up with it. He blows the rocket off inside with himself. He blows up alongside, and V3 says that he's a true hero and it christens him to be Kamen Rider Hongou, Kamen Rider, the fourth Kamen Rider. Now obviously he's gonna come back in X, but but it was a powerful scene. Joji truly realized that Destron is a bad organization, so to truly avenge and seek vengeance against everything that has happened, he did what he thought was right. Now he didn't really do a redemption, just saying, like he wasn't a bad person. He just was in a wrong place at the wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time. That's literally what happened. Anyway, in the last episode, Tachibana finds out about Joji dying, which is very unfortunate. And then Shiro finds out the receiver. So from every single time that the leader spoke, there was a receiver, and he found out the place about Operation D, which is literally an all-out destruction. They're going all out. Like it's the last episode. What do you expect? So they kidnap every single person in Tokyo. Well, like the Rider Scouts and Junko, not Tachibana. And oh yeah, can I just say when V3 and Tachibana like try to save them, they jump. If you didn't know that, I think they do on a trampoline when they do those jumps. But anyway, when Tachibana jumped, he was looking really uncomfortable. It's just a quick thing to say. Shiro, before that, actually gets trapped in some like weird metal thing, and martial armor says that he will dissolve in that. But the last thing that happens is that he, in an effort to save everyone, he releases all of his energy. Now, I have no idea what happened, but when he unleashes all of his energy, some weird sound just came out. Like that didn't sound like a sound where you unleash all of your energy. That just sounded like a sound when like a fairy creates a wish on you. Like anyway, martial armor then turns into Zarigana, I think. That's the name of the monster. And in a last resort, my man just breaks his shell and starts throwing it at V3. How is that a last resort? What is it like? What is it? Explode? What? That was dumb. Okay, no, that was dumb. Nope, that was dumb. Nope, nope. I'm not having that. That was dumb. So, what's interesting is that before Martial Armor gets defeated, he goes to the leader and he's like, "Leader, please save me. Save me. Save me." And then the leader is like, "Nope. Beam." And Martial Armor dies, which is an F in the chart. Shiro then goes through some maze stuff, some Takeshi's castle stuff. He finds the leader. So, because I didn't release the part 2, the last episode of the original was fucking dumb. This, and I thought that the last episode of the original was dumb. Hey yo, the last episode of V3 just takes up the notch. Like that's a cherry on top, bro. So basically, what happens is he sees a white robe, unveils it, and sees some skeleton from a biology class. And it has like a heart inside of it. It's so weird, man. Then he destroys it, and the heart, the artificial heart, like starts bleeding and everything. It's really weird, man. And he breaks a skull, and has a recorder saying that, "Ah, get fucked. I'm gonna explode the whole base, just like the last episode of the original." And we end on Junko, Shigeru, and Tachibana basically saying, adieu to Destron, and hoping that Shiro is okay, and he's okay. The last scene of him is him riding a bike. And that's all of V3. Wow, I really speedrun through this. Wow. I was not funny throughout this even. Wow. Characters. Shiro Kazami. He goes through some drastic character development. At the beginning, now this was mainly because he was targeted, I guess. So you didn't really see much of him. Mine was kind of shy, kind of average person-ish, if you know what I mean. But then turns out to be kind of cheeky and really confident in himself, really trying to make sure that he saves everyone and is there for everyone as well. I'm just trying to look through my notes just so I know that I'm getting everything. He also really wants Tachibana to coach him a lot, especially with the new moves like that I was talking about throughout these episodes. But he really doesn't want anyone to help him. Like he also really wants to be independent. He really hates it when Junko tries to help him. I'm not wrong. Junko tries to get in a lot of trouble. Fucking hell, dude. I'll talk about it in a minute. But he does always tell her to not get involved. It turns out to be kind of like a love tease kind of thing, but it doesn't really end up anywhere. I think they probably dated after that. Let's just be honest. But yeah, Shiro is like a really cool character. He goes through such drastic development because of the fact that he lost everything. So he'll just lose everything then. Like he lost his family, so he was like, okay, I'll just lose everything. Might as well. He loses humanity, he loses everything, but at least he gains a group of people to be with. You know, and it is sad still. Like he lost his parents, he lost his sister. So fucked, man. Junko, she's fine. I mean, she's pretty. I don't know. I think Mika is the prettiest still. But anyway, yeah, Junko is fine. She has a, but that's just plot convenience. Basically, I was gonna say that she has a lot of ties with a lot of the characters, like that I associate with the monsters of the week. But that's just plot convenience. That's not Junko actually had correlation. Let's be honest. But she's fine. You know, she works with the Rider Scouts. Yeah, I don't really know what to tell you. Like, she's just a girl, and that's really unfortunate. But I don't really know what to tell you. Tachibana is Tachibana. He's a cool cat. I like Tachibana. He does get into trouble, but like I don't think in V3 is that he it happens a lot. There was a lot of the times where he got manipulated. I think it happened twice in this show, which is very interesting. But again, the reason with the thing with Junko is that if you remove her, nothing would change about the show. But with Tachibana, you know, he's the one that kind of made the Rider Scout, so like you kind of need him, and like he's been there for like everyone, so like you do kind of need him, right? Shigeru is kind of irrelevant, but I'll just talk about it quickly. My man talks like an old man. What is this, bro? I think he's like 11 or something. My man talks like he's 40. He's like, hey, he's literally, not even a joke. He's literally like, hey, what are you doing? You know, that's so cringe, but I like him because of that. Shigeru's fine. Shigeru's absolutely fine. Again, Rider Scouts, big props. They've been going through some hard stuff in that show. Pog. Pog. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's so good. Anyone else? Ken, irrelevant. Oh, the villains. Oh, I was actually going to talk about this. So, we go through two commanders in a span of 10 episodes. Not even 10, 8. Actually, I think it's 10. But anyway, 10 episodes and we go through two commanders. That's fast. That's really fast. Like, I could be playing a game and not even notice that they exist. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. And I didn't like Dr. Gay. Well, he was fine. I really found it funny when he said Kamen Rider. And I feel like the thing with these, like, okay, Martial Armor is probably my favorite commander, but that's just purely because he had a tie with Joji because he didn't want to get killed off by Destron. So he told Juji, not Juji, what's wrong with me? He executed Joji so that he doesn't get executed, right? He was just being a selfish prick. So then, because of that, it makes him a bit more interesting because they have this thing with Riderman. With Dr. Gay, I don't know, man. Like he was all right. He was all right. Like I'm not. He's not. He wasn't bad. Okay. I think Dr. Gay is interesting in General Black. And I'm being 100% honest. Like, I think Dr. Gay is 100% better than General Black. And that's just purely because there was just more things with him. There was just more interesting stuff with him. I don't know. Dr. General Black was a bit dead. And then again, I really like um, Tusk, Tribal Tusk. What's his name? Fuck. Baron Tusk. I like Baron Tusk, but that's just because he wore a suit, and I like the musical atmosphere again, where they were playing the drums and everything. And that was really cool. And then Archbishop Wing, literally forgettable, like the most forgettable villain in that whole entire show. So yeah, that's V3. Yeah, that's it. So what do I think of the show? Here's where we go to the thing. So would I want to watch the original or Kamen Rider V3? Here's the thing. With Kamen Rider V3, it has a story. It has more of a story, and the episodes flow better. Like the two-parters, you have to watch two-parters. In my opinion, if you don't watch the first episode, I don't think you'll personally understand the second episode. Okay, V3 flows like this. Okay, the original flows like this. You can watch any episode, like 90% of the episodes, and not have any repercussions. Not even a joke. And that's why I liked it more. Okay? I got more out of V3 in terms of story, in terms of things to talk about. Okay? But in terms of a show that I would like to watch more, it's probably the original. Because again, it's goofy, it's fun, and it's a week by week show. I feel like a lot of people, right, would watch the original or not even watch the original and literally just say it's a hustle to watch because 90 episodes and it's boring because it's just week by week, months after week, nothing to watch. Which I disagree. Okay, that show's premise is a week by week. If you don't watch it week, I'll binged it, right? So I don't really have a word. I can't really justify my point, but I want to believe that if you watch the show week by week, you would enjoy it because that was the purpose of that show, to watch it week by week, to see these characters have these one-off trips around Japan, doing whatever and saving Japan from shocker. That's why the original is good, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's like the best show ever, but it serves its purpose to be a weekly show, right? I don't think the writers really had a I don't know like a big brain plan, right? But they had the plan to have a weekly show where the family could watch something fun, and that's why I like the original. Again, nothing against V3. It's just I would probably want to watch the original for the one-off episodes, whereas with V3, I personally feel like if I watched the episode, like if I literally picked a random episode, I'd get out of it. I would get something out of it, but it doesn't have that monster of the week as much. Oh, that's a lie. That's a lie. I don't know why I just said that. I hope you get my point. My English is really bad this week. So yeah, that's coming out of V3. I think I might record these videos but at night actually. I really like this lamp. So yeah, quick things to say. Oh yeah, so again, I watched this show from Generation Kikaida and then the movie from this place. Definitely support the original release, so the official releases. I didn't buy it. I don't have 130 bucks on me, 120 quid, whatever. But if you do have the money, please pay for it. It's actually really good. It's a really good set. They actually have Kikaida on there as well because it's called Generation Kikaida for a reason. So do check that out. The subs are really good. They don't have the reference like XIG. Like if we rated the subs, then you know XIG would be on top for sure. I think that's it. Next time, hopefully, we'll be doing X. It's 35 episodes in a movie. There are the theatrical episodes, but I don't know where to find them. And personally, it wouldn't really add anything to the show prior anyway. So I'm just not going to talk about them. But I just want you to know about them so that you know about them. X, 35 episodes in a movie. Hopefully, it won't take long. I spent 3 months watching V3. What's wrong with me? I got 2 weeks holidays as I'm speaking this. Hopefully this video will come out in in the next 2 or 3 days as I'm writing this, recording this, whatever. And yeah, 1 hour and 10 minutes. That was pretty quick. Very proud of myself. I'm actually proud of myself. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And eat corn cake.
Henshin. Wait, where?